Hey folks, how's it going? This is Seagull here, and it is time for the lore info dump for Adventure Awaits. We got a blog post going into details about the inhabitants of Gibby Point, and there was also a Townie lore Q&A on the Sims official Discord, so I'll include some highlights from that later on in this video. But let's start off with the blog. Once you've grabbed your grilled jellyfish from the welcome wagon, thank goodness, I love it when they do alternate versions of the welcome wagon. Anything but that dang fruitcake. I don't really like fruitcake in real life, and I think only one of my Sims ever, out of my hundreds of Sims, has ever liked fruitcake. But it's time to meet your Gibby Point neighbors from Adventure Awaits. Each Sim is a story, some heartwarming, some peculiar, and some tangled up in drama, but all share a love for play and adventure. That's the Gibby Point way of life. So before you gather around the campfire or challenging Sims to rock, paper, scissors, let us introduce you to a few of Gibby Point's most beloved locals. Fitness and play is the Perry way. Whether you're just starting your fitness journey or pushing it to the limits, Frida Perry's world-class fitness retreat, Revive and Thrive, in Jellyfish Junction is the place to be. Spin bikes, free weights, classes, and a full schedule of activities for all abilities. It's all here. But what really sets Revive and Thrive apart is Frida herself. She has a deep passion for helping Sims reach their potential, be it through exercise and wellness or friendship and connection. Frida also has another full-time role, caring for her grandson, Dougie. Dougie is an exceptionally bright kid, but unlike his grandmother, he's no social butterfly, although he does enjoy catching the glasswing butterfly when he can. I take it that's one of the rare butterflies in this pack, but shy and slow to make friends. Dougie leans on Frida for companionship, but with her busy retreat schedule, she can't always be by his side. Hoping to ease his loneliness, Frida gifted Dougie an Imagine Me doll named Wild Child. And maybe she knew more than she let on, because that doll began to do much more than keep a watchful eye. Suddenly, Dougie had a partner in crime for friendly competitions, whether it was a game of rock, paper, scissors, or hide and seek. Here's a better look at the screenshot of them. So that's interesting that they made an elder Sim the leader of this fitness getaway. And I like that they do the occasional, I don't know how you'd say it, like less conventional, less expected sort of household relationship in a pre-made household. Because, well, I actually haven't read the whole blog post yet. I've only skimmed read it. So part of this actually is going to be like my first reaction. But yeah, I don't know if Dougie's parents are anywhere in the world or if it is really just the grandmother and him. Moving on to the next part, held together by a hyphen. If you want to explore the vast forest of Wonderwood Wilds or learn more about the land's rejuvenating qualities, look no further than Camp Gibby Gibby director Nigel Chavez Ralston and his family, wife Sarah, and twin daughters Erin and Eris. Nigel's a true townie, having lived in Gibby Point all his life, and is one of the three great adventurers, along with the town storyteller Toshi Akamine and the lost explorer Raheel Kunal. Together they spent their childhood exploring and mapping out Gibby Point. You can still find remnants of their tracks and trek through your own quest from the story map in the middle of Seabreeze Harbor, where you can usually find Toshi. Nigel loves nothing more than to share his knowledge and love of the land with anyone who's interested, making camp director his dream job. Here's what they look like. Looks like a cute little family. I like the athletic wear that Sarah is wearing, even though I'm pretty good for athletic wear now with all the previous packs that we've had, like fitness stuff and Discover University and the throwback fit kit. Those have really kind of filled that niche for me, but this is not bad either. Also, I hadn't pointed out before, but I do like the new leg band-aid accessories that are available for children. The next screenshot we've already seen before, but his wife Sarah is obsessed with Gibby Point's eclectic array of butterflies. but it's her mastery in papercraft that wows the campers. Just as much as she is creative, she's a caring and devoted mother to her twin daughters, but the two may be at odds. She yearns to express herself, but feels trapped by her parental duties, and unfortunately, Nigel is more likely to be found tending to the camp than his home. While their parents may be having trouble connecting, Aaron and Eris are as tight as twins can be. Aaron is the extroverted one that loves making new friends and participating in outdoor games, although she tends to get overly competitive from time to time. Okay, so she has that trait. And then Eris may be introverted, but is a loyal friend to anyone she lets in, and she also shares her mom's love for papercraft. These two can surely be seen together out on an adventure or participating in one of the many activities at camp. Looking for even more adventures? The Lost Explorer, Lakshmi, Rahil's sibling, is Gibby Point's very own butterfly conservationist. Oh cool, greet them, and they'll happily give you info on quests. Lovers and fighters. For the lovebirds seeking romance and a little bit of competition, Jane and Star Adams' love Highland in Crystal Valley is the perfect place to plan a romance challenge getaway. This young and intimate couple own and operate a rustic yet upscale getaway, serving as love coaches to many Sims on Gibby Point, at least to the ones that can get past their quirks. Jane is friendly, handy, and can whip up a delicious meal with the best of them. She has a deep passion for the art of love, although her loyalty can quickly tip to jealousy if left unchecked. Star is an excellent pianist and self-proclaimed love broker with charisma that lights up a room. However, she can also clear it with one of erratic arguments. In addition to their penchant for hosting romantic retreats, the Adams also have a commune-style home on the property where they house Sims looking to get away or find themselves. It has all the amenities for a self-improvement journey, plus shared spaces that encourage conversation and connection. There, you may run into a familiar face, like our old friends Agora Chachki. I had no idea who she is, so I looked her up, and she's from The Sims Life Stories? That's a pretty impressive deep cut. Reminds me of how they did some deep cuts for businesses and hobbies, like including Grandma Hattie, not from the console version of the Herbs, the handheld. Like, wow, what better time than to make deep cuts like that than for the 25th anniversary of the Sims franchise. Also, Skip Broke from the Sims 2 base game is returning. Looks like you've got some explaining to do, Skip. Yes indeed. Now in this screenshot, there's one thing I want to talk about. Not the Sims themselves, but this town statue in the background with, I'm assuming, is the founder posing with a sheep. Because up to this point I was like, where are the sheep? I know they already did the mini sheep and horse ranch, but if you're going to do a New Zealand inspired world, you gotta have sheep somewhere, even if it's just reusing the distant sheep background asset from Windenburg. The first thing I learned about New Zealand, and might be the thing that New Zealand is known most for other than being a filming location for Lord of the Rings, is that the population of sheep is higher than people. Yup, it's a really funny thing to just imagine. But yeah, finally, some sort of reference to sheep in this world. But hey, then horse ranch, I guess, will come in handy with Gibby Point as well. Maybe there could be an interesting way of integrating the mini sheep with a getaway. Last part here for the blog, the friendly, playful, and strange. Gibby Point is full of mystery and lore, and no two Sims reflect this world's strange past than Buddy, Scoop, and Pruella, which I guess is a pun on Cruella de Vil. But Buddy is a child and a member of the elusive Scoop family. Elusive because Buddy is the only Scoop you'll actually encounter in public. This mischievous little lad has been repeatedly caught investigating the mines his family once owned, but can often be found selling or trading his unique collectibles at a table outside of the mines' entrance. He's also a surprisingly fast hand at rock, paper, scissors. The little plum birds that now scurry around Gibby Point were once much larger. There's a lot of speculation around how and why they shrank in size, but the fact of the matter is they no longer exist until one day a sim named Pruella chose to become one, honoring the memory and spirits of the beloved species. At first, locals thought the large plumbird returned, which soon turned into campfire fables of a fearsome beast watching over Gibby Point. But when Pruella's secret came out, so did she. You can now see her interacting with neighbors at events like the Round the Fire Festival, spreading messages of kindness and positivity to Sims of all ages. You may even encounter a Sim or two that's following in her talon-etched path. The little plumbirds are really cute, but I don't know about this costume. It's kind of up there with the imaginary friends and the creepy factor, I think. But it'll be interesting to see what kind of collectibles are being sold near the mine's entrance. Alright, now for the highlights of the official Discord Q&As. So, game designer Rach says there actually are interactions with the water tower. That's pretty surprising. So, you can say hi to the Hermit Park Ranger, you can send a paper airplane note up and they'll respond eventually, and you can have a gift exchange with them. In another response, they did mention that you're not able to physically go up to the watchtower. That is forbidden for some reason. What's not forbidden, though, is to go to the Lonely Lighthouse in Jellyfish Junction, where a trait switch can be activated. I think this is for Skip Broke, and it's supposed to be like with Lane in Life and Death. Under certain circumstances, one of his traits can end up changing. It's pretty cool, actually. I hope they do more of these in the future, as long as they do it in moderation, because then if they do something like that too often, then it's not quite as special anymore. Holly mentions that Gibby Point is inspired by multiple places such as New Zealand, Australia, and national parks in the USA. Yeah, first seeing this world, I was reminded more of the USA than New Zealand or Australia. So that makes more sense to me now. A couple answers back to back here. So Buddy Scoop is a permanent child. We do not know why. It just happened that way. Buddy Scoop is a riddle wrapped in an enigma and a propeller hat. I consider him highly odd. And Nigel is currently in the role of camp director for Camp Gibby Gibby. This is a role that's tied to the getaway and is completely customizable. His wife Sarah is in the camp counselor track of the park ranger career. Another question asked was, is there any aromantic or asims included in this pack? There aren't, though there is Aurelio in San Sequoia, and Pruella is a trans woman. Nigel's imaginary friend from the gameplay trailer, unfortunately, is not in the game. I'm not sure what exactly there's to be careful about. Maybe the marketing team just had a different plan than the developers. One question was answered about custom venues. They're not able to be owned by Sims, though Getaways can. Princess Cordelia fans get another win. We have a butterfly in the new Gibby Point Butterflies and Moths collection that's named after Princess Cordelia. There's a nice little write-up about this butterfly after examining her. Some examples of quests were mentioned. So there's the Butterfly Conservationist quest that can be done with Locksmith in Wanderwood Wilds. For world quests, there's Tashi Akamine, who can be found in Jellyfish Junction near a special story map. She has 3 world quests to complete. Completing them unlocks a special geyser thing and also the ability to get small bits of gossip from townies. You can finish the map when done. It is super cute. I love those gossip lore interactions they've done with several of the recent worlds. It gives the worlds a bit more depth, makes them feel more lived in. And I like how in certain cases there's even ones where you get different lore depending on your friendship level with the sim that you're asking. And Plumbird quests, you get these off Pruella's nest in Crystal Valley. Completing these will unlock 2 special interactions with Pruella, Super Hug, and Sharing Feelings. The reward is mainly you learn more lore if that's okay. It's mainly content for lore-focused simmers. At least there seems to be a bit of rewards other than that, because yeah, I would prefer there to be a bit more to it than just lore, even though I like the lore. But for gameplay reasons, I think it makes sense to have a collectible or something behind that, just so that there is more gameplay reason to do it. I liked how in Enchanted by Nature they added the lore to the notebook, so I hope they do that again. Can we woohoo Pruella? Pruella does not woohoo in the suit, though you can romance her. You can still kiss or hug her, though. If you romance her enough, you can add her to the household. An important note, the suit is special to Townies, who are the peculiar plumbird, so if you add Pruella to the household, someone else will don the suit. Plumbirds cannot be kept as pets. They're very shy and reclusive, so you see the small ones around Gibby Point, but they don't want to be interacted with. They've had a rough go of things between overusing the hothead rock geyser's warmer function for butterfly adjacent purposes and Sims getting too close. Agora, returning from Sims Life Stories, is described as being a bit of a troublemaker who has stuck their foot in it a little too many times, so is now starting a better life for herself, hopefully, but may still be chaos embodied. Skipbroke is confirmed to have faked his death, but you can learn a little bit more about him potentially by checking out the Lonely Lighthouse, so it does sound like then that trait switch talked about earlier is for him. Some more info on the Scoop family. They were kind of big wheels back when Crystal Valley wasn't Crystal Valley. I like to think of it as having been Scoop Town before, though this isn't official in the game anywhere. Then one day, there was a big earthquake / geyser eruption, and the gold mine just dried up. Suddenly, crystals are there instead. The Scoops packed up and left, but Buddy actually may not be alone. The mystery is, where does Buddy live? Some townies swear they see him coming and going from the old Firewatch Tower, but this is unconfirmed. Okay, so I guess that's who you're sending the notes up to. With Nigel and Sarah's relationship problems, it's more left up to us, the players, to take it in the direction that we want, so their sentiments won't reflect the friction as much. I think I would still prefer the sentiments to be there in the first place, because then it makes the Sims less interesting from the start if there aren't any sentiments reflecting their relationships that are described. Now for some lore about the glowworm cave and the jellyfish. So the glowworm cave used to be more of an actual cave, but then a big earthquake messed it all up, so it became more open. But it has always been a spot that's so beautiful it's practically otherworldly. Literally. As in, those jellyfish, they are called Astral Pro jellyfish, and they are not native to Gibby Point. We had some sick Sim visitors who wanted to leave behind a gift. Luckily, the jellyfish were not invasive. So that's interesting. The aliens influenced the lore a bit, and there is a jellyfish salad recipe. Aliens in particular get a different moodlet when eating it. To end things on a funnier note, be careful on slides in hot weather. Oh boy, does that bring back childhood memories. So there are some interesting little details in this pack. Makes me look forward to playing this even more. Overall, there seems to be quite a bit of lore in Adventure Awaits. I wasn't expecting much this time around, since they seem to be focusing a lot more on new activities and gameplay objects, which I am all in favor of. But it is still nice that they managed to get some lore in the background just to make the world feel more alive and have some actual history behind it. So that is cool. I'm looking forward to playing through some of those quests and finding more about what's really going on. That's pretty much it for now. So at the time of recording this, the new base game update just dropped. I don't know what's in it yet. Unfortunately, I will have to do a video on that tomorrow since I'm working evening shifts this week. So yeah, I'm sorry. I have to end up being a day late with everything. And that wraps up another Sims Info and Thoughts video. So feel free to know your thoughts in the comment section below on all this lore with Adventure Awaits. And be sure to subscribe, like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later and have a great day. Thanks for watching.